Krishnam Vande Jagad Gurum. Namah Kamalna Bhaya. Namah Kamal Maline. Namah Kamal Padaya. Namaste Kamalekshana. Yo Brahmanam Vidadhati Purvam Yo Vai Vedanscha Prahinoti Tasmai Tagvam Ha Devamatma Buddhi Prakasham Mumukshurvai Sharanamaham Prapadye. Inquisitive souls, today we have a Q&A session. So I need a mic runner, someone who can take the mic. Yes? Yes, go ahead. And if you have a question, please raise your hand. The mic will come to you. Please speak on the mic.
Radhe Radhe Didi ji.
Radhe Radhe.
Today you spoke about Gita in the morning, Sunday satsang. I have this question from long time, and I was hoping I'll get the answer from you. My question is, Gita, there are 18 chapters in Gita, and you said Bhagwan spoke to Arjun on the battlefield. So each did he talk about each chapter kind of every day? Is that how it is compiled?
There was no such division. He just spoke, and then Vedavyasji would have divided that knowledge into chapters. So it's like Shri Maharajji would speak, and then the words would be written down and then would be organized. But Shri Krishna would have just spoken, and Vedavyasji would have recorded that and had organized that into lectures. Yes, over here.
Thank you, Didi.
Right here.
When did Krishna make this world
How long ago?
Yeah.
More than 2 billion years ago. So the world, the world we're living in, right now it's creation, this is creation, and before this there was destruction, then there's creation again, then there's destruction. It's like God takes everything, all the universes, or one universe sometimes, and he puts it in his mouth, in his stomach, and that's called destruction, pralay. And when God takes that out of his mouth and reveals it again, it's called creation. So the world comes into being. But the world, this world, was revealed a little more than 2 billion years ago.
Radhe Radhe Didi ji.
Radhe Radhe.
My question is, in our daily walks of life, we tend to get sometimes confused between what is ego and self-respect. And when we read the scriptures and the way we understand it, the Mahabharata was basically a war of self-respect. And And the way I understood was that Duryodhan, being egoistic personality, was not even willing to give an inch. They were pretty intelligent folks, but if we have a situation in our own life, how we distinguish what's ego and what's self-respect when the line is pretty thin between?
So in the case of Duryodhan and his brothers, they were, just want to clarify that they were divinely intelligent. They were all divine servants of God and merely playing the roles of being very egoistic. So the main question is, in our lives, how do we distinguish, I have self-respect and self-confidence. Am I being prideful? Am I being egotistical? What is the difference? So having self-respect and self-confidence means that you can avoid being arrogant and proud by thinking that I am just a very small speck and God has given me a mind. God has given me the ability to think, and with God's grace, I'm able to think this way. And despite all the knowledge that I have very little knowledge. So why should I be proud of that? I should not be arrogant. Always bringing God into the picture, which should be done, rightly so. God is responsible for giving us this mind and giving us this knowledge. So when we put God in front, in the midst of everything, then the pride stays away. But the moment we start thinking, I did this aham, I am intelligent, I have knowledge, I am good, I am virtuous, and we forget about God, that God has given me these talents, these virtues, and despite all that I've been given, everything I have is like a drop in the ocean. It's just droplets. So that's how you distinguish, that's how you can stay away from being proud and arrogant and yet have self-respect and self-confidence. Why should we not have the confidence? Yes, I'm a child of God. I have an almighty Father, and He has given me these gifts, and we must always beg Him. We must always pray to Him. Allow me to use my talents in the right way. Allow me to always remain on the ground. Let my feet always be on the ground. Let me not just fly up in the sky and think that I am all that. And that pride comes very quickly with wealth. It comes with education. It comes with, in being virtuous also. That when people say, you're so good, that, I am really good. So we have to be very mindful of that. But someone is very confident doesn't mean that he or she is proud and arrogant. Being confident is a good thing. But keeping God and as a source of that knowledge, that talent, that virtue, keeps us from being proud and arrogant.
Thank you.
I have a question, actually.
Yes.
So, our soul...
Okay, keep the mic close to your mouth, please.
So, if our soul is part of God, why is it so hard to go to Him and actually get God realization?
Right. So you would think it would be so easy because we are part and parcel of Him. We belong to Him. But by not accepting that I'm a part of God, that I'm nothing without God, when we don't accept that, when we forget about Him, then it's very difficult. Then it's just so easy to get lost in this world. It's so easy to get lost in all the trappings of this world. And then we forget God, although we are part and parcel. So what we need to do is to remind ourselves every day. We need to be reminded, so we need to remind ourselves. And that's why satsang is essential. When you come to satsang, when you come to the mandir, you get to hear about God. So that reminds you of God. So you're right, we are part and parcel of God. Shri Krishna says in the Gita, Mamaivansho Jivaloke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. All individual souls are my eternal fractions. So we are part and parcel of God. We belong to God. But we have never accepted Him as ours. So the moment we accept Him is the moment that we will reach Him. That He will, it won't be difficult. So all the difficulty is because we don't believe that He is my one and only. You understand? Okay. Radha over here.
What was Maharaj like mostly scared of?
What was Sri Maharaji scared of? He was only scared of his mother. Maharaji was only scared of his mummy, but Maharaji was not scared of anything or anyone. He was very kind and he was very great and he was fearless. And he taught everybody to be fearless. You know how little kids sometimes think, oh, there is a boogeyman under the bed or in the closet. No such thing. You have to be careful, of course, be safe, but don't be afraid. And he taught everyone, little kids, older kids, everyone, young ladies, young girls. And he would, one girl said, Maharaji, I'm so afraid I'm going to go on the train alone. And Maharaji said, you should not be afraid. God is always with you. And when you came into this world, you came all alone. And when you will leave, you'll go all alone. So it's okay to travel alone. Don't be afraid. Wasn't that nice? Take a look at who's raising the hand.
Radhe Radhe Didi.
Radhe Radhe.
So in situations where relatives or friends are criticizing Hari or Guru, then what should be our strategy? Because if we want to counter them, then we might be also doing transgression or nama prad. Or maybe we should walk away. Not very clear on the strategy. If you can provide some inputs on that.
Sure. So when someone, loved ones, friends, relatives are criticizing God and Guru, what should you do? If it's someone younger and you can tell them, this is not the right thing to do. Stop saying that. If it's someone older, just walk away. And even if it's no matter what age they're at, if they don't stop, just walk away. Now, Mirabai had asked this question, she had posed this question to Saint Tulsidas. And because Mirabai was such a great devotee, and she was asking for advice, and Tulsidas, she gave an answer according to her position. And he said, Tajiye tahi, koti barinasam yadyapi paramasanehi, jaku priya na ram vaidehi. He said, just leave them, go away from them, renounce them, even though they are your nearest and dearest ones. But that is an answer given to someone at at that level, high level. But, and then Tulsidas ji has also said, cut their tongue off. And Maharaj said humorously, no, don't do that, because you'll go to jail for that. So the best thing to do is to just go away, move away from them. Sure, just after Sangeeta. Just wait 1 second. She had been raising her hand. Yes.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe.
Didi ji. So my question is for those souls who doesn't know the philosophy or who has not come to a stage that they understand Maharaj's lecture. Like if I talk about my family, sorry. So my family who doesn't understand Hindi or English, and I really want them to read the Prem Ras Madira, but and I'm not in a state to explain them this is what it is. In the south, where the idol worship is so much that you see anything, they will fold their hands and say that this is God. And sometimes we have to say that no, there is only one God and we need to worship that. So I come to conflict sometimes. Should I tell them that this is not the philosophy that we should be following, or I should leave it like, no, Maharaji will come to them? Being a daughter, is it my duty to tell my parents about that, or being the follower of Maharaji, I should leave it to my Maharaji to go to my parents?
Well, if you tell someone, your family members, or mostly it's a family member, if you tell your family members that this is the wrong philosophy, you should follow this, it never goes well. So rather than saying anything about what they're following, just say, I would suggest saying in a very humble way that that I have come across these teachings where that this is what's being taught. Tell them in a nutshell, and this makes a lot of sense to me, and just see if they how they react to that. Because the moment we tell someone, what you have been doing is wrong, the ego is hurt, definitely. Even if someone tells the same thing to us, our ego is hurt. So you have to protect the ego from getting bruised. And you want also for them, you want to give them a good chance of listening to this. So you can tell them in a nutshell and just say that, you have always learned that, but then this is something that I've come across which has really helped me in life, which is really helping me in life. And I find that it's much easier to do devotion when you worship one single form of God, one Ishtadev, and then leave it at that. And listen to the teachings, listen to the lectures in front of them, or sing, play the songs. I know the language difference is there, but hopefully in the near future, the Prem Ras Siddhant, philosophy book, main philosophy book of Maharaji, will be translated in it's in Telugu right now, but I'm sure it won't be long before it's translated into Kannada.
Yes,
Tamil.
I'm waiting for that very much.
Yes.
Thank you, Didi.
Welcome. Rekha ji. Yes.
Didi, I want to know, why did Lord Krishna leave his real mother and go to Yashovati?
So why did Shri Krishna leave Devaki and go to Yashoda? As you know, God doesn't have a mother because He's the mother of all. He's the father of all. But this is all His pastimes, His leelas. And Devaki was a devotee of His, and Yashoda was a devotee. So Devaki, her devotion was different. She wanted the majestic aspect of God. She wanted to know that God has come to her house as her son, and Yashoda did not want to know. So all that Leela took place because of that. So now, because Yashoda wanted only ras, only nectar, for the first 11 and a half years of his life, he just gave that. And then after that, he went to Mathura and released Devaki and Vasudev. So then they got to know him and love him as their son afterwards.
But then another question follows, that when he went back to Devaki Maya,
Yes.
Devaki Maya asked him
Mm-hmm.
that you were God, you are God. Then why did you leave me and go?
Right.
Why did you leave me and go, and now you come back after so many years? So, I mean, I know the answers, but I thought it's nice that everybody knows.
Well, if she did ask him that you left me, she's talking like a mother. She is a mother. And she's talking out of that loving feelings that a mother has. By no means is she complaining, because she's a devotee through and through. And she knows that his pastimes are such that he had to do that. So outwardly, she may be saying that, why did you leave me? I'm your mother, you left me. Inwardly, there is no such objection. There is no such complaint. Yes.
Didi, what I heard, that when Lord Krishna, when Devaki Maya asked him that why did you leave me for so many years and now you've come back? So Lord Krishna, this is what I read. Lord Krishna says that I came, you don't remember your previous birth, but at that time you were Kaikai, Ma Kaikai, and you wanted me to be your son. So therefore I came to you. But because I
For 14 years?
Of so many years. So that many years I stayed with her, and now I've completed that period, and therefore I've come back.
Well, I have not heard that, and I don't believe it's in the scriptures. So I don't believe that's in the scriptures, and I have never heard it from Sri Maharaji, because when it comes to reading something, there's a lot of literature out there, there are a lot of theories out there, and plus the Banvas, the exile was for 14 years, and this was 11 and a half years, so that doesn't match up either. But that's not the main thing. I think the main thing is it's not said in the scriptures that she was Kaikei, and otherwise people put lots of theories out there. We can't believe everything we hear. So my point of reference is simply Jagat Guru Uttam Shri Kripaluji Maharaj. Yes? Oh, I thought there was a hand up over here somewhere.
So for us who couldn't see Maharaji in person, there's always that hole in the heart that we didn't get a chance. How we see so many videos where Maharaji smiles, makes jokes, all those things, and that craves us wish I would have met him, wish I would have touched him. So this bugs me a lot. Sometimes when I'm praying, I cry and say that, oh, you didn't wanted to meet me. So is there something for that feeling in the heart that, he didn't love us less?
Oh, absolutely. Maharaji knew when to come into someone's life, and for you it was, he came into your life after 2013. And I believe it was after that, yes. It is very possible that if you had Maharaji's darshan before that while he was here, there were a lot of tests. Maharaji, he would test the devotees a lot. And it's possible that you were not ready for those tests at that time, and you may have thought against him, and that would be the biggest offense. So he wisely decided that I will come into her life. It's a possibility. It's a possibility that, that he didn't want you to go away from him. And so he didn't want you to think anything, because Sri Maharaji, as a true saint, he always tested us. He always tested. And I think if he didn't have those tests, then the whole world would have been at his feet, I'll tell you. Such a personality, such knowledge, formidable knowledge, second to none, and such a loving personality. Why didn't the whole world go to him? Because, yes, a lot of people would turn away because of the tests. So I think he loves you so much that even after he left for Golok, he still came into your life and said, now is the time. It was the time for you. Now, you're saying that, and there are people who were in Maharaji's association, and they were thinking, why wasn't I here earlier? And so the answer would be that, just make the most out of what you have now, because there's so many who don't know of Maharaji even now. And isn't it wonderful? And we should appreciate what we have now, in the sense that Maharaji's videos are so many videos, thousands and thousands of videos. And like you said, not only Maharaji's lectures, but his general talks, his lighter moments. You can create a composite picture of who Maharaji was, who Jagat Guru Uttam Shri Kripaluji Maharaj was. Never has this been done with any saint, that there's so much material available, so much, and very, very important material, and you can really find out what Maharaji was like. And at the same time, I know that's not a compensation for that pain you feel in your heart. I didn't get to have his darshan. But Sri Maharaji himself said that he hinted at it, that if your love is so intense, then he will come and give darshan. And Maharaji did not ever speak in the first person that I will give darshan. He would speak like a guru. The guru will give you darshan. So if your love becomes very intense and you feel that I cannot live without you, I have to have your darshan, then he will surely come. So now the aim is to come to that point, to love him to that extent and to appreciate him to that extent that you feel that way. He will definitely come. And even the devotees who had Maharaj's darshan, they feel that the void is there. But again, for them also it's the same answer, that if you stay loyal to him, faithful to him, you love him, and your love increases, then one day he will come. Most welcome. I'm glad.
What was Maharaj's favorite food to eat?
Maharaj's favorite food. See, Maharajji was, whatever you gave him with love, Maharajji would eat it. Of course, it had to be vegetarian food. But whatever you gave Maharajji with love, if you made it with love, that became his favorite. And I had asked Maharajji that once, Maharajji, what would you like to eat? Maharajji said, whatever you give me to eat with love, that's what I will eat. That's what my favorite food is. But at the same time, I heard Maharajji say once he likes masala dosa. I think Maharajji liked aloo parantha too. But his regular food was very simple. Like he ate for health. Healthy food was his favorite. That's what he ate on a regular basis. Like every day, Maharajji ate the food that was really healthy for him, like vegetables, chapatis, rice, and Maharajji ate really, really healthy food. And what I'm talking about, masala dosa, that wasn't every day. That was once in a blue moon. If Maharajji went to someone's room, somebody's house, and they would feed him that, he said, I like masala dosa instead of paper dosa, without the masala. So, like that. And sometimes aloo paratha would be made. Maharajji enjoyed that. In sweets, Maharajji liked imarti. It's an imarti like jalebi kind of sweet. So, but whatever you want to offer him in your mind, in your heart, to Shri Maharajji with love, but his favorite was love, that's what it is. So whatever you make with love, that becomes, even now Maharajji hasn't gone anywhere, we just don't see him, but he's in your heart, so if you offer him any food with love, he will accept it. Okay?
I have actually another
You may
question.
ask. Sure.
What was like Maharaj's favorite song?
Favorite song? Govinda, 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 Radhe, Radhe, Govinda. That was one of the favorites. Another one, I can only imagine, I can only guess. There were some songs from Prem Ras Madira Maharajji sang. One was Dhuri Bhare Hariyavat Dhusari O din kab aayi hai aho Hari, and Hari Hari Bol Bol Hari Bol. That one. I think Maharajji's favorites were some of them were these. Ayushman?
How did you become Maharaj's preacher?
How did I become Maharajji's preacher? Maharajji gave me the seva. Like the seva means, devotional service. Maharajji told me that you should, I'm going to, he didn't say you should, he said, I will make you pracharak. So Maharajji knew that, that he knew something about me that I didn't know. And I never thought that I would like to teach people. And Maharajji knew me more than I knew myself. So when it came to professions, I never thought I'll become a teacher or a professor. The question did not arise because I was very shy, to tell you the truth. I was very shy. So to be a teacher, you can't be a shy person. You have to talk to people. So you can't be saying, I don't want to show my face. I don't want to talk to you. But Maharajji knew something that I didn't know. And I thought, Maharajji knows what I should do with my life. I don't know. He is God on earth, so he knows, he's my guru. He knows what I should be doing. And so I had faith in him. And that's how, with Maharajji's grace. And I worked hard also, I think, to learn what Maharajji wanted to teach me. And so Maharajji gave me the seva. And can you guess, do I like this seva or not so much?
Like it?
No, I love it actually. Yes, I like it. I like it. You're right. I do like it very much. But I didn't think that I would. But Maharajji knew. So I had faith in Maharajji. I had faith in my Guru, that he knows what what I should be doing. Maharajji did ask me, what would you like to do? Before he told me. And I said to Maharajji, whatever you want me to do. And he asked me again, what would you like to do? And I said, Maharajji, whatever you ask me to do, whatever you tell me to do. And then again Maharajji asked, what would you like to do? And I said, Maharajji, I would like to stay with you in the ashram. And then after that, Maharajji said, I'm going to give you the seva of preaching.
Where did you meet him?
Oh, well, in person, I met Shri Maharajji in Mangad, in Mangad village, Maharajji's birthplace, Mangad, Kripalu Dham now it's called. And I met Maharajji, I had his darshan over there. But I met him through his teachings in Toronto, Canada. Okay. Please put your cell phone away. Please don't be on a cell phone while satsang goes on. Thank you. Yes.
When did you meet Maharajji?
Back in the day, you can't even count that far back. Back when there were dinosaurs roaming on Earth. In the last century, 1983. Can you think of 1983? No, that's what I told you. That's when the dinosaurs roamed the earth, and people are as big as trees, as tall as trees. When we had typewriters, do you know what a typewriter is? You do? Have you ever used a typewriter? You have, okay. When we used to have phones that you couldn't take out of your home, there was there was a wire, and yes. When we had phones that you had to go like this, they were called rotary phones. Then we got the touch tone phones that you go like this. That was very exciting. Many years later, we had the cell phones. And so, in those days, long time ago.
Didi, whenever we listen to pads from Viraha Madhuri, a lot of the times I feel like I'm just sympathizing with the gopis, like how sad they must have felt and the pain they must have felt when Krishnaji left, right? And whatever else Maharajji describes in writing. So my question was, how do we go from simply sympathizing, and you can feel with just sympathizing as well, how do you go from sympathizing to personalizing that feeling and you feel it yourself?
Right. So, so you're sympathizing, that you're thinking, oh, this gopi must have suffered so much. And that still gives you the pain in the heart, right? It still, does it?
Yes.
Yes, it does. And the next step is to just say, I am this gopi. And you just make that transition, that it's not just the gopi who is feeling this, I am feeling this. And try to do that Rup Dhyan. Because Rup Dhyan is in our hands. And it's not someone else who's feeling, the gopi is feeling that pain of separation from Krishna. She is so sad that she's always shedding tears, feeling that. And you feel that pain that she's feeling. But then the next thing is to say, it's not some other gopi, it's myself. I am feeling this way. And try feeling that, and try thinking that again and again until you get good at that. I am the one who is suffering from separation.
Didiji, the gopis of Braj, were they born as regular human beings who achieved God realization in that birth, or were they all God realized and came to earth as part of the Leela?
There were many classes of gopis. There were some who had come straight from Golok. We know them as the Ashtamahasakhis, the 8. And then there were others who had already attained. They didn't come from Golok. They were not always from Golok, but they had still come from Golok. They were not like the Ashtamahasakhis in that the 8 Mahasakhis were never under the control of Maya. They were like reflections of Radharani. Then there were other gopis who had attained God realization. She has come from Golok. And there are others who must have just had a little bit lack, and then now in this life she is going to become. And there were many personalities like the sages and ascetics, the rishis, munis from Bhagwan Ram's time who had darshan of Bhagwan Shri Ram, and each one of them had thought the same thing, and that was, I wish I were a female and I wish he were my beloved. And they have all come as in the form of women, females. There were sons of Agni, there were maid servants of Sita ji who had seen Bhagwan Shri Ram, and they had also had the same desire. So they've all come as gopis. So there were different classes, categories of gopis.
Thank you, Didi ji.
Oh, yes, over here. Radha.
What was Radharani mostly scared of?
What was Radharani mostly scared of? Probably her mommy. She was not, because she's God, she's not scared of anything. But when Radha and Krishna come to earth, when God comes to earth as Radha and Krishna, then, when she was little, she would have been afraid of her mommy, her mother, Kirti Maya, that, when she maybe misbehaved, or she may have been scared of her mom, of Kirti Maya. She may have been afraid that, her brother, Sri Dama, once Radharani was playing in the Gehvarvan, in the woods, along with her friends, her Sakhis, and all of them got really scared. Radharani got scared. Why? Because Sri Dama, as brothers often do, he hid behind a tree, and he started scaring them with making noises like, woo, like this. And they all got scared. So Radharani got scared of Sri Dama making those sounds. But you understand, Radharani is God herself, so she's not afraid of anything. It says about God, the Vedas say about God, that bhayadasyagnisthapati bhayattapati suraya bhayadendrascha vayuscha mrityurdhavati panchama. That God is so fear-inspiring that even fear, Yamraj, who instills fear in everyone's heart, is afraid of him. And so there's no difference between Radha and Krishna. So even Yamraj, the god of death, is afraid. So she's not afraid of anyone or anybody. But when she comes to earth and she does her leelas, and she's a little girl, she might be scared of her mother. Her brother sometimes would frighten her, like that. What are you scared of? Think about it. That's okay. You can tell me later. More questions? Yes, there's a question at the back.
Oh, now I remember.
Okay. Go ahead.
Nothing.
Okay.
Mostly.
Because you believe in God. Okay, give the mic, please. Because when you believe in God, you're not afraid of anything. Is that right?
Can you tell us some stories about Maharaj's childhood?
From what I've heard, yes. Maharaj used to tell us stories from time to time. It's very fascinating stories. Maharaj was very kind, and when a class fellow would fall sick, then Maharaj, being very small at the time, he would go visit that class fellow and he would tell him that this is what the teacher taught us today. So Maharaj's friends loved him a lot. He was very kind-hearted. He was very mischievous as well. He would tell the boys, you don't need to study. And look, I'm not studying. And then they would all go out and play. And Maharaji said, and then when they would go to sleep, then Maharaji would start studying. But of course, he never needed to study, and he, because of by virtue of who he was, but of course, he's not telling anyone who he is. But his friends, they gave him the name Lauki Tripathi, because Maharaji's name that his parents gave him was Ram Kripalu Tripathi. So they called him Lauki Tripathi. Why? Because Lauki, in that plant, you get the vine, you get fruit first, you get the vegetable first, then the flower. Fruit, then the flower, which is opposite, contrary to nature. So, you are student, you haven't read that yet, you haven't studied that yet, but you get perfect marks. And then, and the teacher teaches a student, but here the student knows more than teacher. So Maharaji's nickname was Lauki Tripathi. Another one was 99, and he got 99%, and they said he doesn't study, he has 99, and then they thought that, he's a lucky charm, so they took his shirt off his body and they ripped it to pieces. Each one kept a piece of it in their pocket. And Maharaji said when he got home, his father asked, "Where's your shirt? Ye banyan kyun pehni hui hai? Kameez kahan hai?" So then he got in trouble. Once Maharaji said that his father bought him a new geometry set. Maharaji went to school and someone stole it. So then his father was very upset. You're very careless. But he got another geometry set. And that got stolen too. Maharaji said, then I was so angry, I stole 5 geometry sets. So there are a lot of stories. Maharaji loved to climb trees, and he would climb the mango trees. Those mango trees are still in Mangar. And for that reason, it's so important to go to Mangar to feel that close connection with Shri Maharaji, because that is a place where Maharaji was born. That is a place where he walked, where he learned how to, where he learned to crawl, where he learned to walk, where he learned to run, where he did his childhood pastimes. It's very, very important to go there. So there is Amravatika, mango grove in Mangar, and sometimes we have picnics there, we gather there. And there are a lot of old mango trees there, and Maharaji used to climb those trees. And once Maharaji fell from one branch, it was too weak to support him. He fell from one branch, held on to another, but that also proved to be too weak, and then Maharaji fell on the ground. Then the thing is, he got hurt very badly, but you know how children are, the only thing he was worried about is, if my parents find out, they'll kill me. So he was hurt very badly, but he was only afraid of what his parents' reaction would be. Maharaji was learning how to ride a bike, and Maharaji said, I was always overconfident. And so he asked one of the boys, how do you do this? And he said, don't just hold on to the handle and, pedal, and we'll just give you a push. He goes, yeah, I got it. Give me a push. So Maharaji had not learned to balance it. You need to do more than just that. So Maharaji said, I was always overconfident. I said, just let go. They let go, and Maharaji fell down. And again, fell down very badly, got badly hurt. And then Maharaji was always childlike, very childlike, very innocent. So Maharaji said that even when he started driving a car, and he liked to drive the car, but he said, I could not tolerate it if there was a car ahead of me. So there will always be somebody ahead of you. And he said, I could not tolerate that. So I gave up driving. Yet again, that childlike nature. Once Maharaji was gargling, garare kar rahe the, gala kharab tha. Maharaji was in his room, I happened to be there, my good fortune. And Maharaji was gargling, for a long time he was gargling, because we do a few seconds, then you just spit it out. And Maharaji was like, for so long. And I was thinking, wow, that's so long. Then when Maharaji, spat that, and then Maharaji said, "Hai koi vishwa mein jo hamari tarah garare karta ho?" Is there anyone in the world who can gargle like I can? And I thought, oh my God, even in this you are the best, right? So But yeah, there's a lot of childhood stories of Maharajji and how they decided to go to the Gangaji. It wasn't very far away. It's not too far away from Mangar. And Maharajji was in a boarding school in Kunda, which is nearby town, 5-6 miles away. And so they decided that they'll go to Gangaji at night. So the boys left in the dead of night to go there. And they came to a point where there were two groups now. The leader of one of the groups was Sri Maharajji, and there was another boy who was leader of the other group. And there was two differing opinions. One said, let's go this way, another said, let's go that way. So there were two groups now. Some followed Sri Maharajji, some followed the other boy. They got a little bit of, they traveled, they went by foot for a little bit longer. Then Maharajji said to his group of kids, hey, let's scare the other kids when they pass by here. And they hid behind a big tree. And when the other boys, when they passed by, they made funny noises, scary noises. And the boys got really scared, and one of them actually fainted. So when he fainted, one of the boys said, let's throw him in the river. No. And Maharajji says, imagine this boy saying, let's throw him in the river. So they carried this boy back. They were petrified. They carried him back to the residence, and then they just put him to bed, and nobody found out about it. So lots of very interesting stories. Maharajji was as mischievous as he was intelligent, divinely intelligent, and divinely mischievous also. Maharajji's mother had given a big tin, tin full of laddus, and at one point Maharajji and his older brother were there together in the residence. And so Maharajji would go and, Maharajji, in his own words, I used to go steal the laddus. Until my big brother told me, chori karna paap hai, isko aisa nahi karna chahiye. Then I gave up stealing. When my big brother told me that it's not good to steal, it's wrong, then I gave up stealing the laddus. Yes, a question?
Question.
Yes.
Can you tell us more stories, but like the times when he was like really, really mischievous?
When Maharajji was very mischievous, let me just think about it, because they don't all come all together. I'll think about it. In the meantime, maybe there's another question. Radha.
How do you know all of these stories?
Hmm?
How do you know all of these stories?
Oh, how do I know all these stories? Because Maharajji told them to us, and I listened to them, and I kind of tell them again and again, and I think about them again and again, and that's how you remember something. So I know them because Sri Maharajji told those stories. He would sometimes tell us these stories. And they were really fun to listen to. Are they fun to listen to? Yes. We have a few more minutes left. So if there are a couple of more questions, I can take them up. Yes.
Radhe Radhe Didi ji.
Radhe Radhe.
So, as advised by you, trying to do Roop Dhyan of all three, sometimes, mostly I'm trying to see Shri Maharajji as Radha and Krishna. So Krishna is easy to see, him as Krishna, but Radha, just his complexion, but can you, I have not seen his picture with his, or if you have seen, if you can help me with, because I think it's more helpful if just one chavi and think of him, just all three. It helps me with Roop Dhyan. Then switching, when Radha's Kirtan, only Radha Rani, with Krishna's Kirtan, only Krishna. But if it can do Roop Dhyan of Maharajji with either, that'd be great.
Everybody's different, so everybody's experience is different. If you find it difficult, personally, I think of Ammaji as Radharani. So whatever works for you, really, because even if you see Maharajji, if you relate more to Maharajji as Krishna, that's okay. Knowing that Radha and Krishna are one, it's okay. And then you have the Roop Dhyan. and I would not be able to tell you how you can see him as Radha, because that's your personal, that's your own mind, you're doing Roop Dhyan. But I can tell you this, that Maharaji was very, very loving, and he had all these qualities of Radharani too. I always say Ammaji had qualities of Radharani. Maharaji had all those qualities also. He was very loving, he was a loving, very motherly. Maharaji loved to feed us, and the way he would look at you, then you would feel that he's very, very motherly, very, very affectionate, very loving. So if you can think about his qualities, the motherly quality, you may be able to relate to him as Radharani.
Thank you.
And now you're getting to know Ammaji as well. You can think that too. Whatever makes you feel comfortable. Yes. Ayushman. It's okay. He'll think about his question. In the meantime, yes? Okay. Turn it on, please.
What would Maharaji do when someone did something wrong?
What would Maharaji do if someone did something wrong? Maharaji would tell them that this is, that you should not do this. He was very loving. He would tell them, you shouldn't do this, you should do this. That's how Maharaji would correct them, and then he would remind them of what is right and what is wrong. Yes. Very lovingly. Yes.
What was Maharaji's favorite story to tell everyone?
Maharaji's favorite stories, the ones we read in Prem Ras Madhira, you know about like Lord Krishna, little Kanhaiya eating dirt, and little Kanhaiya, he was being tied by his mother, tied up to the ukhal, to the grinding stone by Mother Yashoda, and little Krishna telling Yashoda, I did not eat dirt, all those stories, and Radharani's stories, when she says, I went to play with my friends, and Shri Dama Bhaiya scared me, Maya, you should scold him. Maharaji used to love telling these stories to us and to the whole world, and that's why we have a scripture, Prem Ras Madhira. Prem Ras Madhira. There's so many beautiful stories in there. Maharaji told us all those stories, and so many more. They used to tell in lectures too. Like one story is that little Krishna was crawling on all fours. He didn't know how to walk yet, and he was walking, he was crawling on all fours when he saw his own reflection in the ground, and then he just stopped crawling. He was going towards his mother because he wanted milk. He was hungry, and he just stopped because he saw his own beauty, and he thought, what a beautiful child this is. And he wanted to embrace that child, but he couldn't because that's his own reflection. And he started crying because this child doesn't want to embrace me. And so Yashoda came running, and he can't say in words, Maya, this is a very beautiful child, I want to embrace him. But his mother understood what he was trying to say, and then she went like this to the ground, like I'm beating this ground up because it won't allow you to embrace this child. And then he was satisfied. He was crying, and now he's smiling, and most of his teeth are not there yet. Just a couple of teeth are showing. So those are the stories Maharaji liked telling. And there are so many more. One last question, if anyone has it. Yes. Just wait for the mic, please.
Sometimes we feel like very strong intuition, and you feel like very divine intuition. So how do you perceive that? Like, because I have been experiencing this a lot for like a couple of months, and whatever comes in my mind or heart, I feel that episode is happening. I just cry.
In real life, you mean?
Yes. And recently I just went to India, and I had this strong urge to go to Haridwar and Rishikesh. I really wanted to go to Vrindavan, but I was not getting that sign. I was asking Krishna why you're not, giving me that sign that I should go. Somehow I did not get any answer. But there is an amazing episode happened when I went to Haridwar. There was a temple called Kunja Devi in Haridwar, and it's like top in the mountain, and I was with my mom, and she could not walk, and of course Rashi, so I decided to go on my own. And before going this, vaguely I was seeing all these, before leaving Atlanta. I went there. When I was climbing the steps, I was holding, a bag of prasad. It had like nariyal and red cloth and sweets and banana, everything. And suddenly what I see is, I'm surrounded by so many monkeys. And it's just me, nobody's there. And there was one monkey that jumped at me, and he grabbed that bag. And I started there was I was not scared. There was a tear in my eyes, and I'm like, please let me go. My daughter is there. I want to see the goddess. I want to offer these offerings. Please let me go. And don't know what happened. That monkey, he threw that coconut towards me. Then he threw the chunni towards me, and he took all the prasad. And with all his gang, he left. I mean, I had goosebumps. I could not think So, and this kind of thing I was already seeing. I felt that, in my dream. And there were few signs I was getting. And when I went upstairs, there were a few people, and they told me, you are very lucky because these monkeys are very aggressive. They will take everything away. Then I was like, now I'm scared to go down. They said, hide everything under your sweater and don't show anything. That's what I did. But when I was going down, there was nobody. So, and before that,
So the question is that all these experiences you're having, intuitions.
Yes, last 4 or 5 months, all these divine experiences I feel, and I feel that I'm not scared of anything. I'm not scared of anything. I have no fear of death, no depression, nothing. When I do Roop Dhyan, I go into a different mode, and I see that sign that Krishna is trying to say something. And I really wanted to know why he did not let me go to Vrindavan. I really wanted to go so badly.
I would say that you shouldn't look for that. Those thoughts, Krishna's not letting me go, they're not genuine. Because why would he not want you to come to Vrindavan? So it's your own mind telling you, and you think that it's Lord Krishna not allowing me to come. We make our own decisions. And so I would say don't trust your mind so much, because it will really fool you, it will deceive you. So because God does not give experiences like that, don't come to Vrindavan. God only gives experiences like, come to Vrindavan. So you were not prevented, your mind prevented you from going to Vrindavan. So you have to make a distinction like that the intuition is just coming from your mind. As far as the monkey is concerned, you were very fortunate that the monkeys take away passports, glasses, important things, and you have to always hide your stuff. So now, next time you'll know better. But, the experiences you should look for are love that's growing in your heart, tears of love for God, not any other experience.
That's what I feel. I cry a lot whenever I think of him.
Mm-hmm.
And after that I feel very peaceful, but it's just my tear is just flowing and flowing. It's just thinking of him, and
right.
It just flows.
And that's what needs to be done. The tears have to be shed for God, and so that's good. That's good. Just keep on crying more and more. And those are not tears of depression, not tears of sadness, but tears of love. And just make sure those are tears of love for God, and not tears of, byproduct of something else. That's good. So, Srimad Sadguru Sarkar ki jai. Ladili Lal ki jai. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri